Hello everyone and welcome back for another edition of 8 Minutes with Aaron. I am of course your host Aaron, and today I'm going to give you a new delicious special treat as we're going to dive right into what's going on in Everquest 2, why I went back to the game, what's happening now, and all that in between. So let's get rolling with a fresh edition of this guy right here, Aaron. As you know, recently I have dived back into EverQuest 2. Now, I haven't taken a deep dive back playing every single day or every single night. I have limited my time to about once or twice a week on a raid night on Friday or Saturday. Sometimes I'm able to get both in, sometimes I only get one night in, but whatever it is, I am having a better time than I used to. Why? Because now I have to get better gear in order to progress to the next tier of mobs. Right now, my guild reported is in tier 3. They are killing it. And quite frankly, it's kind of shitty when you have to sit back because you're not at resolve and ready to go into the zone. So for the last 2 or 3 weeks, it was a bit of a learning period for me. Getting to know how to beat the mobs, the strategies behind it, and of course, gearing up. Now, I have not been able to get into the tier 3 mobs at all, or the zones, until recently. Last week, I was ran through some of the contested area, where the contested area drops like 525 or 535 gear, depending on what level the mobs are. The higher they go, the higher resolve drop they are. And I am now at the 11,11195 requirement, whatever the hell it is, 11,195, which is needed to go into the tier 3. Now, the one thing that I hate about it is that the gear that I have is not double slotted. Now, with double slotted gear, you can put an extra adornment in there, which gives you kind of like extra buffs, like crit bonus, potency. I guess you'd have to know what these things do in order to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But now that I'm putting on this the 535 gear, I'm taking off lower gear that had the double slots, and I'm losing stats. And these stats that I'm losing are fucking critical to my damage. So the damage that I am outputting is not at the top tier of where I want it, unless I'm in group 1, which is basically the big Mahapapapas who give you all the buffs, all the crit bonus packages, the potency, and all the other shit that just makes your DPS go through the roof. So if I'm not in that group, which I'm not because I'm not the top resolves tank right now, I will be there eventually, but I'm not, so I am kind of in a lower ranked group. Now, EverQuest 2 is not doing so hot right now. A lot of people are leaving the servers, not just the server I'm on, multiple servers, because there's not enough content to keep people wanting to continue playing. Now, when the game first came out, they had a plethora of stuff. They did the H1s, H2s, and people were invested in it, but it wasn't long after until people got their gear and started raiding. And once you get into raid, it's really all raid unless you offer the players new gear, new equipment, new quests to go through. And what they're offering this year for the special events, they have a Jubilee event, they're not giving anything that is worthwhile to put on your character to upgrade it. They have a couple collection quests that is in the new contested area, but that's only giving you a 1-slotted belt, and it's a 545, which I'm sure is going to be replaced once you get the tier 4 mobs or the tier 5 mobs. I don't even know if there's those kind of raid mobs, but once you get to those levels, you don't even have to do these collections anymore. And the collections aren't easy either. It's like 6 days per item, and I think there's about 3 or 4 collections. So let's say there's 18. That's 18 times 6. That's what? 40, like 100 and some odd things, 108 or something like that. I don't know. I'm not doing the math in my head right now. We're doing 8 minutes with Aaron, right? So yeah, that's what's happening. And now they're coming out with a new PvP Origin server. And when on the Origin server, they basically have level caps. So they'll only let you go to like level 20 until 3 weeks in, then level 30, and so on and so forth. And those servers only last for a very short period because people lose interest and don't want to play them anymore. And it's not about the content that's there. It's just that it gets boring and played out, and people have done it over and over again. It's something new, something to dip your toes into just for a while. It's a different type of EverQuest 2 to play. You're not basically trying to gear up for your guild. A lot of players who do the PvP things are just for themselves. They like to go find someone who's in just in the land and just murder the shit out of them, take their shit. I don't even know if you can take their stuff anymore. Back in EverQuest, you used to be able to kill them, take loot like their gold and shit or platinum, and I think you might have been able to loot some of their equipment too. I'm not 100% sure on that. It was probably way back in EverQuest, but not in EverQuest 2, I'm going to say, because this I'm sure people would bitch and moan, because that's everything that any player does nowadays in EverQuest 2. If they don't have an easy way to get something, they will bitch and moan. That's another thing that I hate about like the raid mobs and the raid zones. People complain so much about how hard they are. They nerf them. They nerf the content in there just so people can get through it and continue on because they don't want to lose players. And the players who have all these items from like previous X packs, they're getting mad because the people in EverQuest or the creators or whatever, the developers are like, well, we want more people to play the game, but the other people can't get access to these things because it's so hard to get groups together and do this, that, and the other thing. So they're kicking stuff out, the good players getting pissed off, and this whole game is just a confuzzled piece of globular video game crap that should probably have just ended about 5-10 years ago, because it's just the same recycled shit. People only play EverQuest 2, I would say, just for the nostalgia and maybe the camaraderie of chilling with a bunch of people. But to be fair, it's not the greatest game of all time, and I'm sure once Grand Theft Auto comes out, a lot more people may leave. Now, I'm sure that the people who are playing EverQuest 2 are a lot older, and maybe they're not into console games. But EverQuest 2 is kind of like a dying collectible. You know what I mean? Like, let's not say Funkos, but, it's a dying collectible. There's a bunch of people who are playing it, and the people who have been dedicated for such a long time have kind of fallen out. Look at me. I, stepped back away from the game for a couple weeks. And yes, I did go back, and that's probably because I was bored out of my fucking mind and Diablo wasn't doing anything for me. But, once Diablo Season 9 starts, I'm going to jump right back into that sumbitch, and maybe EverQuest 2 will be put on the shelf as well. And I will tell you guys time and time again, once I start practicing that goddamn banjo, I'm sure that I won't be playing as many games as I am. I mean, look, 2 days a week isn't bad. But what this video is basically about to say, I'm back in EverQuest 2. EverQuest 2 needs to improve. It needs more content. It needs something for me to want to play the game for, not just for raid. Give me a reason to want to go and find a group. Give me a reason to want to go back into these zones. Give me a reason to collect coins, to want to get gear, to want to better my character. Because technically, just me speaking honestly, there's no reason. Because look how easy it was for me to get from level or tier 2 raid resolve to tier 3. It took me no more than a day to do it. And that is fucking stupid. I'll say it, it's fucking stupid. You made a contested zone so people could get gear just so they can get through these raid mobs. Like, no. That's stupid. You need the press. I like strategies. And it doesn't feel like these strategies are hard anymore. Because once they're a hard strategy and people complain, changed. Boom! That is all. And that's all I got to say about EverQuest 2. Yes, it was a long rant, and I have no idea if any of it made sense, but hey. It's 8 Minutes with Aaron. If you kept up with it and you know what I'm talking about, good for you. We're on the same wavelength. My name is Aaron. Thank you for joining me at 8 Minutes with Aaron. I will see you next time with more stuff, more things, and of course, more of me. I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.